Thousands of pro-lifers rally Saturday, the second national day of Planned Parenthood protests. About 20,000 people showed up to nearly 300 Planned Parenthood locations in all 50 states. The protests are a response to the recent undercover videos exposing the abortion provider. The protesters want Planned Parenthood to be stripped of its hundreds of millions in federal funding. Marjorie Dannenfelser is president of the Susan B. Anthony List, a pro-life group that co-sponsored Saturday's protests. The number's still coming in, but you say they're really actually higher than 20,000.
Yeah, I think in the end it'll be about 70,000. In August it was about 78. The good news is they're holding steady because people do lose attention pretty quickly, but this is something that should not be lost, certainly in the fray.
Why do you think that these protests, the visibility of people, keeping this in the forefront is so important?
There are a couple of things that are really incredible happening right now. For the first time in 40 years, since the Congress has been funding this organization, the profile is very high. There's a high-profile presidential debate over whether they are obeying the law, about what's going on in Planned Parenthood clinics. There are committee hearings going on almost every week in the Congress. This has really never happened. We'll be talking about judiciary committees coming up in the Senate very soon. And so the high-profile conversation is continuing, and it'll probably continue tomorrow night in the Democratic presidential debate.
So the hearings that are going on Capitol Hill, some of them seem to fall a little flat. Do you think they're making any kind of a difference?
I think we're making our way. I mean, yeah, I think you're right that they're not perfect. I think that in the end what you really want is for a couple of things to happen. You want the humanity of the unborn child to be the most important thing that comes out. But the Congress's job is to truly look at, have scrutiny and look at organizations that we're funding and see where they're breaking the law. In the process of checking about where they're breaking the law and bringing Planned Parenthood officials forward, we're going to achieve both of those ends. But I think it is still very new. I think that we could do a very good job of, especially with our friends in the Congress, being a little bit better prepared from time to time. Because I can tell you, Cecile Richards, the president of Planned Parenthood, will be well prepared every single time.
She's well prepared.
And
why aren't they just showing the videos? Are they not allowed to do that? You'd think if they would just show the videos and say, how do you respond to this?
Well, it's debatable whether they can show them or not, and I believe I'm on the side of the debate that says you absolutely can. And every time you show the video, you will be able to link it to something very important for the committee to address. So that is that I believe is the thing that Planned Parenthood really fears, and it's the thing that the pro-life movement really wants. And truly, a lot of members on Capitol Hill are moving in that direction. I think we'll see that.
One of the things that's very difficult to hear are some of the Democratic leaders saying this is just a waste of time. Do you see it presented that way in the Democratic debate tomorrow night?
Oh yes, because they will be vying to be who gets to be Planned Parenthood's best friend. The cash coming out of that organization, the cash coming out of our pocketbooks going to that organization is immense. And each one of those candidates needs Planned Parenthood's endorsement, and they also need the base that they are all appealing to. I mean, remember what these debates are generally about at this point. They're trying to solidify their base. That base is very extreme. So we will see some really extreme statements coming out of each of the mouths of those folks vying to be the Democratic candidate.
So any discussion of this probably, though, is good for the cause.
It's all good because honestly, the truth sets you free. Clarity is everything in politics and often in life. And when we get to the general election and we have candidates who have exposed really the horror at the center of the Planned Parenthood endeavor and the horror of late-term abortion and children born alive so that we can harvest their parts, and then you see on the other side, you know, some folks trying to defend that in the name of women's rights of all things. That's the kind of contrast we want in the pro-life election.
Marjorie Dannenfelser with the Susan B. Anthony List, thanks again for coming to
Thanks for having
see
me.
us.